Welcome back to the IBFP.
Let's just dig right into this fight, fans, and let's just break it down. What's going on with Saul Canelo Alvarez's knees. There's been a lot of speculation over the years as what's going on with his knees, and is he having any real knee issues? And it's always been downplayed. But as we've noticed, as time has gone on, we've noticed different things come out and different things surface. So let's just break down the first thing. About April of last year in 2018, Dan Rafael reported that Canelo Alvarez had cysts taken out of his right knee. Now, this is from Dan Rafael, and Eric Gomez initially had said that Canelo Alvarez had gone a cosmetic surgery. So the weird thing about that is people chalk that up to being, the confusion was in the translation from English, from Spanish to English. But in reality, I truly believe that it was something to downplay what was really going on, and trying to say that it was more of a minor surgery than it was, an actual real surgery. And, cyst taken out of his right knee, obviously it was something that was bothering him. So let's just get into these quotes. According to Eric Gomez, he basically said he had cyst taken out of his knee. In regards to the Gennady Golovkin fight, now you have to remember, he was about to fight Golovkin around this time. And he also stated that, as of now, since he isn't fighting, it was time to take care of it. But, regardless of the cyst in his knee, he could have still fought Gennady Golovkin if the fight was still to take place. There's no structural problems with the knee. So there's no structural problems with the knee. And this, once again, is all in his right knee. So they're saying there's no structural problems in the right knee. They're saying that he had cysts taken out of the right knee. And initially that it was some form of cosmetic surgery. So, but we know taking cysts out of the knee is a very minor procedure. Nothing to be too worried about. As long as there's no structural damage, you'll be all right. And so more recently, I believe on May 2nd, Chris Mannix with SportsIllustrated.com came out with an article in regards to Canelo Alvarez and speaking on his left knee. And so, the weird thing about this is, he's been wearing a lot of protective brace over the left knee. And, it's a preventative measure for, different lingering, undisclosed knee issues he's been having in his left knee. Now, we already know that the right knee has undergone surgery, but now the left knee has been having lingering issues. And so it's undisclosed. There's no clear reason as to what's going on and things like that. But if you notice that these knee issues are arising, and this could be a concern. These are questions, because we know at 28 years old, Canelo Alvarez is at the top of his peak. He's in his prime. Physically, he's not going to get any better or feel any better than what he is at this point. Now, it's very interesting that at this point, and this may have been a reason why Canelo Alvarez signed an 11-fight, $365 million deal, because he knows that, look, if your body starts to break down, if things start to happen, he's guaranteed $365 million on an 11-fight deal. So he knows the rest of his career is taken care of, guaranteed, regardless of what happens to his knees. So that was a genius move by Canelo Alvarez, and you have to give him that. In regards to Canelo Alvarez's knee issues, and if he's been any issues or anything like that as far as camp, Oscar De La Hoya basically stated that, I've watched him in the gym these last few weeks. He's doing a lot of movement with his legs. He's more elusive. He's dancing around. I don't see a problem with his knees. He has not expressed any situations where it has held him back. But you never know in this sport. All those aches and pains can catch up to you any fight, but so far, so good. So as of right now, Canelo Alvarez is a warrior, and we know that. Canelo Alvarez is not the type of guy that's gonna, complain and moan about anything. Canelo Alvarez is the type of guy that's a warrior, that's going to go out there and fight and give it all he has. He loves boxing. He has the famous mantra, no boxing, no life. So this is what Canelo Alvarez does. But it brings an interesting question. Oscar De La Hoya stated, he doesn't, he has not expressed any situations where it's held him back. So he doesn't believe, at least Canelo has not mentioned to him that his knee has held him back in any situations as far as training or in fights. But how do we know that in moments where Canelo Alvarez, where people say, well, Canelo, he seems to get winded, he seems to get tired, and at the end of rounds, and he just kind of stands there and just a little bit more defensive, how do we know at that point the knee isn't an issue at that point in the round? How do we know that that's not a lingering cause of concern for Canelo at that point? How do we know that's not affecting his fights to that degree? But Canelo Alvarez is such an elite level, special, talent, a top level athlete that, he's able to overcome these issues, because as we know, there's issues in both knees as of right now. And so we still see that Canelo Alvarez moves swiftly and effectively through the majority of his fights. But there are points, and it may be more than just a stamina issue as to what people are saying. It may be more. It may be the knees could be playing a huge factor in this. We don't know exactly what's going on with Canelo Alvarez's knee. It's not clear and it's not explained. A lot is going on. Eric Gomez also says, Canelo Alvarez, and this is the president of Golden Boy, also says that Canelo Alvarez's knee issues concern him as well. Ever since he had a minor knee surgery last year on his right knee. He also says Canelo Alvarez doesn't do too much traditional road work, preferring swimming and other non-impact exercises for conditioning. So that's in saying that, Canelo Alvarez is doing things that's not going to be a detriment to his knees, different type of non-impact exercises. And the interesting thing about that is that means there is a serious cause for concern, because Canelo is trying to make his knees last for as long as possible. You see a lot of NBA players, NFL players, their careers are cut short by, knee injuries, and Canelo is showing issues in both knees, but he's taken the proper steps to overcome that, and those are going to be huge things, especially the exercises that Canelo Alvarez do. And a lot of people wonder, why do athletes have knee problems? Well, look, it all goes back to this. Exercise helps you improve muscle strength. It improves blood circulation, and it reduces pain. That's what exercise does. But it also helps, keep the remaining cartilage you have healthy by improving the circulation to the cartilage. Losing excess weight reduces the stress on those joints. So if we look at it like this, when you have extra weights on your knees, that could be a cause for concern. And as we've seen Canelo Alvarez go up in weight, is that an issue for Canelo? Should he slim down some? Should he trim down? Is the weight being an issue and being too heavy on Canelo Alvarez's knees? We don't know what's wrong with Canelo's knees at this point, and it's not disclosed as to the true extent of what's going on. But we do see signs every year coming out. There's a different issue. You've seen Canelo Alvarez fight Danny Jacobs, had a knee brace. You've seen him training for Danny Jacobs, had a knee brace. You've seen Canelo Alvarez with the knee brace throughout his camp. You've seen Canelo Alvarez this past year with knee braces. So and they're on different knees, and I think that's the most concerning thing, because it's not isolated to one knee. It's to the extent that it's been on both knees. So at this point, we don't know what's wrong with Canelo Alvarez's knee, but this is what we do know. We do know that Canelo Alvarez is taking steps and measures to minimize the impact of the damage of his knees. We realize that Canelo Alvarez is doing things to further his legacy. So maybe because of his knee troubles, because of his knee issues, maybe this is why Canelo Alvarez is so anxious to fight the very best fighters, to go undisputed, to take on the biggest and best fights. Because right now, while he's in his physical prime, maybe the time is now for Canelo Alvarez to fight all of the best fighters, to go undisputed and not delay and say, hey, I'm young, I have plenty of time. Canelo Alvarez wants to cement and secure that legacy now, before any other further knee issues arise. And another thing that we know about Canelo Alvarez is that even though he may have had knee issues, it has not stopped him performing at an elite level, from looking unstoppable and also catapulting to #1 pound for pound. But once again, unbiased as always, it's the IBFP. Please share, like, and you must absolutely subscribe.